Let's take another look at each of the steps we just saw. First, greet your customers and provide them with an initial benefit statement.
Hello, Mr. Peterson. Welcome to Xerox, and thank you for taking the time to come to our demonstration facility.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Today we'll be discussing how our digital solutions have helped businesses like yours increase their productivity by reducing the number of steps it takes to complete their application.
Next, review the agenda, remembering to acknowledge the customer's time.
The first thing we'll do is review the objectives that we discussed last week. The next thing we will do is perform a machine overview for you. We will also run sample jobs using your actual documents to show you how our digital solutions will best meet your requirements. And lastly, we'll review an implementation plan.
Then, go over all of the customer's objectives that you have discussed in prior meetings.
What I'd like to do now, Mr. Peterson, is review your objectives. The first thing you told me was that you'd like to increase the quality of your sales brochures. Is that something that's still important to you?
Ask your customers if there is anything else they'd like to go over.
Okay, well, is there anything else that's not on this list that we might want to discuss today?
Then, get each customer to pre-commit before moving on.
Okay, well, if I can show you how our digital product can meet all the objectives on this list, is there any reason that we can't move forward today?
Provide your customers with a tailor-made equipment demonstration, getting them involved and using their applications.
Let's move on to the machine overview. What we'll be discussing are the input, the throughput, as well as the output features of this product.
And finally, review the customer's objectives again and close the sale.
Well, since we've been able to meet all of your objectives today, Mr. Peterson, what I'd like to do is move forward, fill out the paperwork, and then we'll review an implementation plan.
Now that we've seen our steps in action, let's hear from people who have successfully performed product demonstrations. These are people who have been sales representatives, sales managers, or sales instructors. They know what it takes to perform an effective demonstration. They'll offer helpful tips on conducting successful need satisfaction demonstrations.
Obviously, know your equipment. It's very important because when you're giving a need satisfaction demo, you really want to be able to address the knowledge of the equipment and tie that into the customer requirements.
Always, always, always check the machine the day before the demonstration. You never know when there might be some small problem that could cause the customer not to buy the equipment when they show up the following day.
The other thing is you want to keep constant interaction with the customer. You want to constantly be asking them questions, kind of engage them in conversation. Sometimes when you're done running an application, ask them if they see a benefit to them. A lot of times if you get them talking and they tell you what the benefits are, it saves you a lot of time.
What I like to see is an account manager or a sales rep that's using really positive language. For example, saying this document feeder holds up to 50 sheets of 11 by 17. Something along those lines, something that's positive. I also like an account manager to face their audience and be actually talking to the customer so that the customer can maintain eye contact and really be involved in the situation.
After you've covered all the objectives, everything you're going to cover during the demonstration, ask is there anything that you missed? Ask is there anything else? You want to be able to get the commitment when you leave the office that day.
If you can have the information that you want to convey to the customer, in other words, your talk track, timed appropriately to the amount of time it's going to take to run the copies. That way it all ends at the same time.
The pre-commit is key for a couple reasons. One is at that time you might find out this is not the decision maker. That's pretty important. And then you want to ask that person for their approval that if this demo works for them, if they would go back and recommend it to their committee or whoever the key decision maker is. The second thing is that the pre-commit can also bring up a hidden objection. Okay. The third thing is it makes it easier to close at the end. They've already told you that if you met their requirements, they would go ahead and sign the order.
Also understand the buying criteria of the customer. Also understand if this person has the ability to sign or what is the next step in the procurement process.
To really address that objection positively. A lot of times a challenge type of tone will really set the customer off, so it's real important to address it positively and confidently.
By all means, answer the objection, clarify, and then respond to the objection. Make the customer feel comfortable. Then move on with the demo.
It's important to use the customer's actual documents for demo originals as opposed to documents that you might have in the office. That way you can relate back to the customer why this product will best suit their environment.
When the documents come out of the copier, what you can do is take those documents and get the customer's agreement. Get them to tell you how this is going to benefit. It has more impact if they say it themselves.
One of the key things is calling your customer the night before to make sure that they can come in. That way when you reserve the equipment, you have the exact time, you know that it's going to take you approximately, block out an hour time frame so that you have that time to sit down and work with your customer.
I think it's very important to be yourself within a demonstration because anyone can perform a demo, but people buy from people, so your enthusiasm and your interest in the customer and your enthusiasm about your products is really what counts.
You are a salesperson. Close the deal. You followed all of the steps. You've earned the right. I used to tell my people this as a training manager and as a sales manager. You've earned the right. If you follow those steps closely, you've given a good product demonstration, you've understood and shown how this product can meet their requirements, and you've used their applications, you've earned the right to ask for the order. Do it.
I hope you found this videotape useful. Please use this video as a resource to help you prepare for future demonstrations. It is important that you understand and follow these steps when conducting demonstrations. It will contribute to your success as a sales representative. We have already reviewed the steps to a successful demonstration several times. However, they are important, so let's take one last look at them. First, greet your customer and provide them with an initial benefit statement. Next, review the agenda, remembering to acknowledge the customer's time. Then review and agree on the customer's objectives that were discussed in prior meetings. Ask your customer if there is anything else. Then obtain a pre-commitment from the customer before moving on. Next, provide your customer with a tailor-made equipment demonstration focusing on their objectives. And finally, review the customer's objectives again and close for the sale. Remember, by understanding the customer's document requirements and tailoring your need satisfaction demonstration to satisfy those requirements, you increase your chances that the customer will see the value of a Xerox solution. Good selling.
Hello, Mr. Peterson. Welcome to Xerox, and thank you for taking the time to come to our demonstration facility.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Today we'll be discussing how our digital solutions have helped businesses like yours increase their productivity by reducing the number of steps it takes to complete their application. When we talked last week, we said that it would take approximately 20 minutes to go through the demonstration. Is this still okay with you?
I think that should be fine.
Great. Well, why don't we go ahead then and review the agenda. The first thing we'll do is review the objectives that we discussed last week. The next thing we will do is perform a machine overview for you. We will also run sample jobs using your actual documents to show you how our digital solutions will best meet your requirements. And lastly, we'll review an implementation plan. What I'd like to do now, Mr. Peterson, is review your objectives. The first thing you told me was that you'd like to increase the quality of your sales brochures. Is that something that's still important to you?
Yes, it is.
Next, you told me that it was important to decrease the turnaround time of your instruction manuals and also to produce them in booklet format. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And finally, one of the most important needs you had was to meet the distribution deadlines of your invoices. Is that still important?
That's very critical to me.
Okay, well, is there anything else that's not on this list that we might want to discuss today?
Yes, there is, Julie. I'm a little concerned about the complexity of the machine, and I'm not sure that my end users in a walk-up environment will really be able to use the machine effectively.
So your concern then is ease of use?
Yes.
Including ease of use then, does this list capture all of your requirements for today's demonstration?
Yes, it does.
Okay, well, if I can show you how our digital product can meet all the objectives on this list, is there any reason that we can't move forward today?
I see no reason why not.
Let's move on to the machine overview. What we'll be discussing are the input, the throughput, as well as the output features of this product. The automatic document feeder accommodates 50 originals from 5.5 by 8.5 all the way up to 11 by 17. Additionally, you can place your documents on the glass, which will also accommodate up to 11 by 17. If we move to the left-hand side of the product, you'll see the high-capacity feeder, which will handle your throughput of up to 3,000 sheets of paper. Additionally, there is the bypass tray, which will accommodate any unusual paper stocks, such as envelopes. Next, you have 4 paper trays, which will hold 550 sheets of paper each, and again, all the way up to 11 by 17. If we open up the inside of the machine, you can see that all of the jam clearance areas are clearly labeled in green, making it easy for the end users to clear any misfeeds that may occur. This also may address your concern about ease of use. The machine will also allow you to reproduce your documents in booklet format, which will meet your requirement of decreasing the turnaround time of your instruction manuals. What I'd like to do now is show you how we can reduce those photographs that you have for your sales brochures very efficiently and with very, very high quality. So what I'm going to do is simply place the document in the document feeder, and we'll also be able to show you how the document's going to be scanned in at 65 pages per minute, and we have a photographic quality output by selecting our image quality tab. Okay? I'm going to select 25 copies of that and then select the start button. Well, Mr. Peterson, you said that you'd like your instruction manuals to be reproduced in booklet format. Let me show you how this product can do that for you. In fact, let me walk you through it so you can do it yourself.
Okay.
You'll simply load your documents face up in the automatic document feeder. We'll go to the user interface where we'll select the output format tab. Next, you'll select the booklet creation button. Turn that feature on. If you'll save that, and then we'll simply select the Start button. And out comes our instruction manual, ready to be folded. Can you see how that document's going to improve the turnaround time for you?
Yes, I can. But I am still very concerned about how easy it is to use this machine. And I'm not sure that my end users in a walk-up environment will really be able to use the machine effectively.
So you're impressed with the output, but your concern is that the staff won't be able to operate the equipment.
That's right.
Well, Mr. Peterson, Xerox does provide training services. In fact, when we install the equipment, we'd be happy to come out and provide your entire staff with training. Does that make you feel more comfortable?
That would work, Julie.
And here are your invoices. Can you see how producing your invoices on this system is much faster than your current process?
It appears much faster.
Great. Well, let's go ahead and review your objectives that we discussed earlier in the demonstration. Your first objective was to increase the quality of your sales brochures. Have we shown you today that through the digital technology we've been able to enhance the quality of the photographs?
That's very important, yes.
Your second requirement was to decrease the turnaround time and produce your instruction manuals in booklet format. Have we shown you through the booklet creation feature of this machine that we've been able to do that?
I was very impressed with that feature, yes.
That's great. The next requirement was that you needed to meet your distribution deadlines of your invoices. And I think we've just been able to show you through this digital solution that we've been able to increase the productivity of that output.
Yes, you have.
And the last requirement that you added was ease of use. And through discussing the clearly labeled jam clearance areas, as well as talking about the training services that Xerox has provided, do you feel comfortable that we've met that objective as well?
Absolutely. Very nice.
Well, since we've been able to meet all of your objectives today, Mr. Peterson, what I'd like to do is move forward, fill out the paperwork, and then we'll review an implementation plan. The implementation plan is going to include space and electrical requirements, any acceptable delivery dates, as well as a training schedule for you and your staff.
Great.
Let's move into the conference room and we'll begin to review the paperwork.
Very good.